talked to her. Micah had information that she knew was considered highly confidential. Information that could get Cassie and her parents into a hell of a lot of trouble, with both the breed ruling cabinet and the individual wolf-coyote breed ruling cabinet. Micah was perhaps one of the very few people, human or breed, that Cassie confided in. Like Micah, she had issues with trust, and those issues kept her more isolated than being a part of the breed community did. More to the point, now that Styx, the only other friend Cassie had allowed herself, had found his mate, Storm Montague, Cassie had no one else she confided in, period, except Micah. Micah knew about mating. It was a secret that wasn't nearly as closely guarded as the breeds would like it to be. It was a secret that she knew they feared would destroy the breed communities. The thought of that was almost amusing. The world was so fascinated with breeds that it was insane. Those who loved them defended and protected them fanatically. Those that hated them with a passion usually reserved for the greatest evil. It seemed there was no in-between when it came to either the dedication or the hatred aimed at the breeds. The truth of mating heat would only make those who loved them love them more, and it really wasn't possible for those who hated them to hate them more, but it would definitely intensify the fear from that group, as well as the violence. It could cause the breeds problems, she admitted, but she didn't believe it had the power to destroy them. "Have the files come in from the EU yet?" Cassie Sinclair's slightly distracted tone drew Micah from her scrutiny of the breed in question and had her turning away from the window of the Office of Haven Public Relations. "Not yet, but my sources assure me there's nothing in them that could harm the breeds." Micah forced her attention back to the electronic news spread that scrolled across the holographic display on the far wall. From all over the world, news stories concerning breeds were streamed into the hollow spread, many well in advance of the hard copy papers and website uploads they would later appear on. The United World Internet laws allowed the Central News Monitoring Organization time to review what could be the most seditious posts before they were uploaded. Those laws allowed the breeds to monitor any inflammatory or potentially dangerous stories that could possibly cause violence against Haven or Sanctuary. They had little prep time, though, between the stories coming in and the actual live feeds as they posted to the internet. Less than 12 hours in some cases. "I see Tanner is once again wowing the crowds," Micah drawled, as the Bengal breed appeared briefly on the spread, his infamous smile charming the world. And damn if he wasn't fine-looking. All that rich, midnight black hair tipped with the finest gold, and that deep, sun-darkened skin. A body worth panting for. He was almost as fine-looking as Navarro. "Tanner's good at it," Cassie murmured, as she flipped between news stories. "He's the face of the breeds." Cassie had always said that, even as a child. "Germany's articles are late coming in." Once again, Cassie's tone grew worried. "Are you expecting something, Cassie?" Micah finally asked, mystified by the other woman's demeanor. Cassie seemed unaccountably anxious as she mumbled a no and gave a quick shake of her head. Cassie's deep blue eyes were narrowed on the e-pad once again, as she scanned information coming through, before her gaze went back to the holovision screens. "Germany is always late, Cassie," Micah reminded her as she glanced at the clock. "We still have an hour or so before we can consider them really late." Cassie's lips thinned before she went back to work on whatever file she had pulled up. "It would help if they were on time," she sighed, shifting in her seat and causing the mass of blue-black curls that fell around her shoulders and down her back to ripple in a wave of midnight color. How the hell she managed to hold her head up with all that hair, Micah didn't know. "Why don't you tell me what has you so nervous?" Micah suggested. "You know it doesn't help to keep these things in, Cassie. They just make you crazy." It was no less than the truth. Cassie was unique in more ways than one. She was completely unusual.